The reason meditating completely changes your life is not what you'd think, okay? Meditation, the act of meditating, which is just trying to sit still in the present moment without any thoughts, it's more difficult than you'd think. It changes your life in a way that cannot be explained. It can only be experienced. But either way, I'm going to try to explain it in this video. When I started meditating 2 years ago, it at first it was nothing. For the first few weeks, I didn't notice much. But after those first few weeks of meditating, 5-10 minutes a day, doesn't have to be a lot, just 5-10 minutes a day, I began to feel disgusted by the constant noise of the world. Sounds corny, I know. But what I mean by this is when I was listening to podcasts, when I was listening to stuff on the internet, scrolling on the internet, consuming Netflix slop content, it felt disgusting to me now. It I would say it awakened me in a way that can only be experienced. It's as if I was running on 2 hours of sleep for the entirety of my life, and one day I got a solid 10 hours of sleep, and the next day I just got to live my life. That's what it felt like. It felt like the entirety of my life previously was just tired and difficult and confusing. You know that confusing feeling you have when you don't sleep enough? That's what it felt like. But that the shift when I started consistently meditating for a long period of time was like 5,000 milligrams of caffeine. Like, boom, I'm fucking awake. I can see the world. The one thing that I'll say that I notice the most on a day-to-day basis now versus 2-3 years ago when I wasn't meditating is when you're in a moment, you're in a moment. You're not thinking of the future and you're not thinking of the past. And that might not seem of value to you, but it is extremely valuable. Because if you're living in the past, then you're living most likely in the bad moments, because that's what you can mostly recall. And if you're living in the happy moments in your past, then you're reminiscing on something that's long gone, which is pointless. And if you're living in the future, which is the only other thing that you could possibly be thinking about if you can't live in the present or the past, is either a very positive future, either a very positive future that you might want or love, the perfect future, and you living in that future makes you feel good even though you haven't done anything to get near it. It's like mental masturbation, that's what I'll say. Thinking of the future, like when you're zoning out, listening to music or whatever, and you just start thinking of your dreams, it feels amazing, right? It's like, whoa, this is really valuable and important, which it is to a certain extent. But if you're always thinking like that, then you're letting the intrinsically fake happiness sneak into your mind and just make you feel satisfied, like it'll feel like you just busted a nut. That's what it'll feel like, even though you didn't do anything. That's why you need to live in the present moment, okay? Because if you're thinking in the future, then you got that that post nut laziness. And if you're living in the past, then you got that reminiscing sadness. You need to be in the present at all times because this is the only real thing that you have, okay? It's why dogs are so happy. It's why animals are so still and calm, because they don't think in the future and they don't think in the past. They only think in the present, what is right now. That's why you can give them the most terrible situations and they'll be happy. And guess what? You can give them the most amazing situation and they'll be just as happy. You want to live that life because living outside of the present doesn't feel good. And you will never know that until you learn to live in the present. Anyways, that was my message for you. If you found this content even just slightly valuable, at least like, subscribe. I'm gonna be posting a lot more videos soon. Not even soon. It's in the current process, and it's all love, guys. You know, I'm a self-improvement gooner, okay? And I know some people might think that self-improvement is useless, or it's just, you know, you're just stroking your own thing, man. You're not doing anything of value. But the progressions that you make on your self-improvement journey shift into your entire life, okay? So I would recommend that if you're not serious about self-improvement, you try to get serious. You try to meditate, try to journal, okay? Go to the gym, get into, you know, being as healthy mentally and physically as possible. It's important, okay? Anyways, yeah, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Namaste, nigga.